Hello, everybody. This is Scotty K 1969. I'm going to take you through my world a little bit. I have a chicken farm. Basic clock circuit. Chickens up there with some transparent blocks. Eggs go into a hopper. The hopper goes into a dispenser and shoots the egg against the wall. It's a good way to get some XP plus food plus feathers. I've got a kelp farm over here. Kelp grows. I got pistons, sticky pistons that will break the kelp off. That happens twice a day, depending on when you sleep, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. I got a daylight sensor that goes to this logic circuit. It's called an XOR gate. When the two signals are the same, I have no signal out the backside. It's dark. When they are different, then I get a signal. So when it's full day or full night, both of these signals will be matched, but at sunrise and sunset, they'll be different for just a handful of ticks based on these repeaters. And during that little bit of time, I get a pulse. And that pulse operates the pistons that break the kelp. The kelp goes through the water down to the hoppers to a chest right there. And that chest feeds this system. So I have a dropper here, another dropper below it, and I'll explain that reasoning here in a second. That second dropper basically spits the kelp into a little hole, and eventually gets to this smoker. The smoker will start counting up to 20. I use kelp blocks because you can get 20 items smelted or cooked for each kelp block. When the smoker gets empty, I get a signal out. I'm sorry. When the smoker gets empty, this signal goes to 0 or nothing and gives me a signal to reset this counter over here. This counter I saw on an old YouTube page. It was like 4 years old, but it's a simple counting system. It was the page was XRush 101, and you put one of these down for each item you want counted. So it's a latch system on a repeater that if you keep a signal here, it will not let the repeater pass its signal through. And so basically the way this works out is I'll have if the smoker is empty, there's nothing here, there's a signal here holding all of this energized. And then when the first item goes into the smoker, this signal becomes dark again, and then it's one more for each item. So I have 19 of these, so it takes one item to remove the reset signal, and then 19 more to get 20 in the smoker. And then once you get the 20th item in the smoker, I get a signal to drop the kelp block. The other side of this, that when I reach 20, so that was, I guess it's nighttime. Yep, getting on nighttime. Right, those things just went through. I got 4 more. You don't get many. I only have 6 kelp plants. They don't grow very fast. I haven't increased the random tick speed. But anyway, when you get 20 items, I stop pulsing the system, so I stop dropping items. Also, there's a second input that I needed, and that's when this dropper is empty. I don't want it to try to send items. So when the dropper that tends to hold all the kelp that accumulates gets empty, I don't want it pulsing the system, because then it throws the count off, and it makes it try to drop a kelp when I don't want it to. Drop a kelp block, that is. So basic timer, I've delayed it a little bit to allow all the other circuitry to catch up. And so another AND block there. That signal goes to here. This is the other AND. So as long as I haven't counted to 20 yet, and the dropper's not empty, I get a signal out here. It drops one of the kelp from the top dropper that goes through that dropper into this hopper into the smoker. And all that counts, and when the system is counted to 20, it'll drop the kelp block, and this cooks. When this cooks, it automatically goes to the chest, so that when everything is cooked, the smoker is empty and resets the system and starts all over again. Now the reason I had set these droppers up the way they are is you can normally just push a dropper straight into a hopper, but the signal I'm using to make the dropper work was turning the hopper off. So it's kind of a little difference. Normally it would work just fine if all you wanted was to push the dropper into a hopper, but the hopper gets turned off when you do that because the signal gets passed through the dropper. So the hopper gets a redstone signal, and when it does that, it gets turned off. So that is my kelp farm. May post a video showing how to make that. I've got a mob spawner, and the mob spawner is, let me sleep real quick so I can walk out here without getting attacked. Coast clear. Alright, coast is clear. I'm gonna slide in here. No! And I died. That's nice. Where did that guy come from? Maybe all of my stuff getting into my system. That's wonderful. I think I can make this jump. No, I can't. I'm going to light this up so I can explain it. All of my items are just going straight in. That's a good way to explain it anyway. Mobs will spawn in here, specifically creepers. Creepers get scared by the cat. Cat basically push the creepers over this way, and they fall down that hole. That hole all of my stuff ended up in there. Alright. So, you heard all of that noise from my dropper system. So, those mobs, they fall down this hole up there onto that hopper and die. That goes into this chest. Chest goes into these droppers, and this is a dropper vader that goes horizontally and then vertically. So it has its own little counter system that doesn't actuate until there's something in this dropper. The comparator there tells this circuit to go back and forth. There's really only supposed to be one item in there, but gets passed back and forth between these. When the system changes, then it makes this dropper vader work, and all of those items get pushed up to here. And I put an observer block on the back side of it connected to a note block. So if I'm just milling around inside my house doing whatever, getting ready for my next journey, I hear the beep and I'll find items up here telling me that I have stuff I can find. And it's mostly arrows and rotten flesh and gunpowder, some bones. The thing about the way the mob spawner is designed is that you do not get spiders. The spiders would kind of clog up the system. So with all those columns in there, spiders need a 3x3 to spawn. And since there are no 3x3s, spiders won't spawn. The last thing I have is just a little sticky piston with some lava down there to throw away extra items, like seeds you get a lot of. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my world.